Hello, happy to be with you again. This is the last English course. Today, we would like to give you pieces of advice on how to deal with the back paper. English back paper. Hello, Mrs. Ben Khalil.
Hello, Mr. Dahmas. Hello, everybody.
What does the English exam consist of?
Well, the English exam consists of two parts. Part 1, reading. Part 2, written expression. The first part consists, of course, of a text and A, comprehension, where you have questions of comprehension, activities, different activities dealing with the text, and B, text exploration, where you have 5 activities dealing one with lexis, one with morphology, then syntax or grammar. Activity 4 deals with the sound system, and the last one with discourse, which means either a dialogue completion or sentences to order and so on. Part 2 consists of 2 topics. You have to choose one of them, of course. One is guided, where you are given the ideas to develop, and the second one is free.
Thank you, Mrs. Bakhil. What about the marking?
Part 1 is out of 14, 7 for the comprehension and 7 for text exploration. Part 2 is out of 6 points.
Mrs. Ben Khalil, what piece of advice can we give to the learners on the choice of the subjects?
Yes, indeed, there is an important piece of advice I would like to give you is to pay attention to the number at the bottom of the page. You have 2 topics, 2 subjects to choose, subject 1, subject 2. Pay attention not to confuse. At the bottom of the page, you have number 1 for subject 1, number 1, and then number 2. For the second subject, pay attention, it is number 3 and number 4.
Thank you very much. So let's deal with a sample with the learners. Okay? You have a text. I'm going to read it, and then we'll deal with the comprehension questions or the activities of comprehension.
All right.
School violence includes issues like bullying, gangs, violence between the school children, and physical harm by school students to the school teachers and staff. Due to this school violence, schools no longer remain a safe place. It is a well-known fact that parents send their kids to school for studies. But if their kids are becoming violent or if they are being troubled by other children, then it is a matter of great concern for them. School violence is a problem of everyone. School administration and authorities are unable to solve this problem without proper support of parents and teachers. Home is the first school and parents are the first teachers, so it is their responsibility to see the condition of their child. If a child is not getting the right kind of atmosphere in his childhood, he will have more chances to be violent. It is the duty of parents to provide happy and tension-free atmosphere to their children. Any kind of tension, anxiety, stress, and depression can make the child violent. Parents and teachers should interact closely with the children and should always try to help them in their difficulties. Violent behavior can be improved by providing proper affection, care, counseling, love, and compassion. So, if your child has become a part of school violence, just give him extra attention, and this is enough to reduce violent behavior. First question now. Write the letter which corresponds to the right answer. Remember that here you have 3 possibilities and you've got to choose one answer. The text is taken from a magazine, a website, or a novel. If you come to have a look at the format of the text, you will see that by the end of the text, you have a website address, www. and you have the address. So the answer is the text is taken from a website. The answer is B. What about the second question, Mrs. Belkhalil?
Right. The second question is a true-false activity. Are the following statements true or false? A. School authorities can eradicate school violence provided they get help from parents and teachers. Before we answer true or false, go back to the text, read, and find the answer before answering. All right? Good. So the answer is true, as you can see in your text. Second sentence. Tension doesn't make the child violent. Again, don't be quick. Read it again in the text. Look for the answer. All right? As you can see in the text, the answer is false. Okay, let's move to activity 3, Mr. Dahmas.
Thank you, Mrs. Ben Khalil. In the third activity, you are asked to classify. The question is, classify the following ideas according to their appearance in the text. So you have ideas, and they appear differently in the text, and you've got simply to classify them. Parents and teachers ought to collaborate to help children. How to alleviate school violence. Owing to school violence, schools have become unsafe. Parents must provide a safe environment to their kids. Have a look at the text and try to classify them. Okay? The answer then is, the first idea is C. Owing to school violence, schools have become unsafe. The second one is D. Parents must provide a safe environment to their kids. The third one, A. Parents and teachers ought to collaborate to help children. And the last one, B. How to alleviate school violence. Remember that when dealing with such an activity, or when dealing with ideas, you can have two ideas in the same paragraph. Okay? So not automatically in different paragraphs. Pay attention to that. What about the fourth question, Mrs. Ben Khalil?
Yes, question 4 deals now with a paragraph in particular. So in which paragraph are the different types of school violence mentioned? Again, I advise you to reread the text quickly and to find your answer before answering. So take your time always. Right, the answer is in paragraph 1. Next, Mr. Dahmas.
Thank you. The fifth question then is word reference. The question is, what or who do the underlined words refer to in the text? Here you have two personal pronouns. A personal pronoun, them, in the second paragraph. There, a possessive adjective or pronoun in the fourth paragraph, and this, the demonstrative pronoun, in the fifth paragraph. To answer this question, you've got to have a look at the text, of course. When dealing with such an activity, pay attention to the content of the sentence or the sentence or sentences before. For the first one, them, in the second paragraph, replaces parents or refers to parents. There, in the fourth paragraph, refers to children. And the demonstrative pronoun this refers to give him extra attention. What about the sixth one, Mrs. Ben Khalil?
The sixth and last activity is about the type of writing. So write the letter which corresponds to the right answer. The text is A, expository, B, narrative, C, descriptive. Now that you have answered some questions and you have already read the text several times, I think we are able to see or to say if the text is expository, narrative, or descriptive. Perhaps I will give you some explanation about the different types of discourse before we answer. It may help you. There are descriptive texts, which are, of course, as the name indicates, used to describe people, places, or things. The narrative text is used to tell the story of something or someone. An expository text usually explains how things work and why. Argumentative texts, here we have the writer who is going to defend his point of view. And the last one, the prescriptive text, which is used to give instructions. Now, I suppose you are able to decide what type of text is this one. Yes, right, it is an expository text because it is not describing anything and it's not telling any story. That activity was the last one in our comprehension, Mr. Dahmas.
Thank you. Today, we're not going to deal with text exploration because all the activities, all the possible activities in text exploration have been dealt with throughout the different courses. We are going to move directly to written expression. And Mrs. Benkhri is going to give you pieces of advice on how to tackle this particular part. Mrs. Benkhri, they have two subjects, as you said, and when coming to write, they've got to pay attention to different things. What pieces of advice can you give our learners?
Well, the writing, the first advice I can give you is to devote some time to the writing. And take your time and divide it into 3 parts. Before writing, you have to pay attention to some steps. Read and understand the topic is very important, and underline the keywords, which are the most important ones. And then plan your work. Any work which is planned will be easy to write after that. When writing, pay attention to the layout. If it is a letter, don't forget to write the date, the address, the form of the letter is important. If it is a speech or a dialogue also, pay attention to this. Start with an introduction in which you state the topic. Sometimes you are asked to write about causes or consequences or solutions, so state it in the introduction. Then write the development. When writing, follow the ideas of your plan. Write the topic sentence of each idea and follow it with supporting sentences in which you give examples or facts or statistics and so on. Don't forget to use link words to combine simple statements like because, although, in order to, as a result, and so on, that you have studied in your different grammar lessons. Don't forget also to use transition words like in addition, furthermore, however, to move from one idea to another one. Pay attention to the tenses used also. Descriptive, expository, and argumentative writing are usually in the present, except if the description is in the past. The past tense or the past tenses are used in narrative writing. At the end, write the conclusion in which you sum up what you have said in your composition or suggest a solution if it is required. Don't handle your paper before you reread it. So after writing, reread your work and check the spelling, punctuation, indentation, and all that kind of things.
Thank you, Mrs. Ben Khalil. I hope that these pieces of advice will be of some help. I wish you success in your studies. Any other pieces of advice to our learners, Mrs. Ben Khalil?
Well, I suppose that we have given you the maximum of what you can need in your exam. I wish you all the success. The last advice I can give you is to be relaxed, okay? You will have anything you have studied in class, so don't worry, and all the success. Goodbye.
Okay. So, don't worry. Be happy. Thank you for attention. Goodbye.
Goodbye.